Bonjour mon petit chiffre, Amber here, and I'd like to start off by saying that I am both roasty and toasty in this turtleneck. It is it's gonna be 80 degrees today. Today is April 13th, I believe, and I am finally sitting down to wrap up my March reading. I don't know, I haven't had the energy to do much of anything lately. All of my content, all of my April content is delayed. As of right now, I haven't even posted my March reading vlog. I haven't even finished filming because I have like B-roll to film my March reading vlog. Anyway, I don't want to talk too long because I have a lot of books to get through. In April, I read a total of 10 books. First of all, what? Who is she? 9 physical books and 1 audiobook. Who is she? I will say that most of these books were quite short, easy read, so that really helped get me to 10 books. While I do the same this month, today's the 12th, and I'm only 40 pages into my 3rd book of the month. So add 40 pages into the 3rd book of the month. Who knows? Let's start. I'm actually not going to talk too long about the first like 2, 4, 6 books because they were all for my my Comfort Films Chooses My TBR. Is that what that series is called? It's not up yet. Hopefully it'll be up by the time this goes up. For that one, the 2nd episode, Jurassic Park, dictated the book or inspired my book choices for March. So the like more in-depth wrap-ups are in that video. Okay, so the first book I read in March, specifically for that vlog, was The Lost World by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And this follows a man who, in an attempt to, I guess, basically make himself seem more interesting for the woman that he loves and intends to marry, he basically asked to be assigned, he's a journalist, or a writer, a journalist, he asked to be assigned on this mission with this kind of like touchy, sort of enigmatic, I don't know what the word I'm thinking of is, but Professor Challenger, who claims to have discovered this lost world in South America, in the Amazon jungle, a world with dinosaurs and like ape men and all of these other prehistoric creatures. And I guess the point is to prove that this place really exists, that Challenger isn't making this up, yada yada yada. They embark on this adventure, blah blah blah. I didn't have a ton of thoughts about this book. It definitely reads like a book that was published in 1912, full of choices, full of we love books written by old dead white men. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a classic. Will I go on to read the Sherlock Holmes books? I don't know. I never even really thought about it, but maybe one day. As far as my reading vlog, obviously this fits the theme. There are a couple of dinosaurs encountered. Jesus, it's very early. A couple of dinosaurs encountered. There's nothing else really to say about this. I don't think I said anything about it, actually. Moving on to which was surprisingly I think my favorite read of the vlog, and one of my favorite reads of the month. Both of my favorite reads of the month came from this Jurassic Park vlog, and it's Raptor Red by Robert T. Baker or Backer, I'm still not sure. This book actually follows a Utah raptor, Raptor Red. At the beginning of the book, she's just lost her mate, and it's basically a story following her quest to survival, her quest to ultimately create her own family, her story of protecting her family as the world around her continues to change and evolve. I believe it's like the end of the Cretaceous period. It's like we're transferring into a whole new time. I could be making up the period. I adored this book, actually. I was so surprisingly invested in it. First of all, if you know, I've mentioned this so many times in various videos, and especially throughout the Jurassic Park vlog, raptors are my favorite dinosaurs. They always have been. And the fact that this follows a raptor. Also, this is like the species of raptor. I think it was the discovery of the Utah raptor that inspired the raptors in Jurassic Park. Am I saying that right? There was in the beginning, the whole prologue was about Jurassic Park and like the research that went into the movie. Also loved that bit, especially for a tie-in to my vlog. But yeah, I was so surprisingly invested in Raptor Red as a character, and like there was somehow the author was able to, I guess, humanize them a bit, where it felt like I had to keep sometimes remind myself these are dinosaurs, but like I like cheered for them, I rooted for them. There was one point where like I've never felt so betrayed by an animal in my life. It's like I was rooting for my girl Raptor Red the whole way through. I think it really helps that the author of this book was, I don't know, a paleontologist, definitely rooted in a lot of facts, and you could tell he's very knowledgeable about the topic he was writing about. I sped through this book, I ate this book up, and I'm still very shocked by how much I loved this book. I did not, when I stumbled across like this book, start researching like books that had to do with dinosaurs and whatnot, I was like, oh, that sounds interesting, I'll pick it up. I did not expect to be like, oh my god, Raptor Red, what's going to happen? Is this guy, like, what's going on? How dare you? Also, like, it being told through a raptor's point of view, honestly, it's so cool and so different. That was one of the main reasons I picked it up. Okay, so the next book I read was one of my most anticipated of the year. I mentioned this in my like new anticipated release, 2022 releases, whatever I called that video, and it's a romance, and it's Digging Up Love by Chandra Blumberg. This follows Alicia and Quentin. Alicia is a baker in Illinois. She has dreams of moving to Chicago to open a bakery, basically a cookie shop, but that will mean leaving her family, her grandparents, back in rural Illinois. She's very close with them, they've raised her, and she's really scared to tell them what she hopes to do. Her dreams, her plans that she's been like keeping in secret for years. One day a dinosaur fossil is discovered on her family's land, which brings in our love interest Quentin, who is a paleontologist and a professor of paleontology, I believe. Long story short, they meet, fall in love, yada yada. Things get complicated when the press get involved around the dig. They both have like kind of baggage and issues when it comes to relationships and their pasts. I wanted to love this book. Everything I said, the whole premise has me written all over it. A baker and a paleontologist, like two of the biggest loves of my life, baking and dinosaurs, right? This kind of also fell in sort of perfectly with my reading vlog because both characters are obsessed with Jurassic Park, and there's so many Jurassic Park references throughout. But after reading it, the longer I sat with it, like the more conflicted I felt about it. I don't know, I just feel like there needed to be a little more build up to, I guess, their feelings and them acting on it, I guess. I wanted a bit more pining and angst. Also, I don't mind, I'm in the minority, I don't mind a bit of miscommunication in a romance, but the entire foundation of this book, this whole book, is miscommunication and the absolute inability to communicate effectively throughout the whole thing. And it was really, really annoying. It was really annoying. I don't know, I wanted to love it. I'm quite disappointed by this book. It wasn't bad by any means. I think I just was expecting too much, because like the premise, it was perfect for me. It should have been perfect for me. Am I willing to give this author another chance? Yeah, probably. Okay, next. I shouldn't have done this so early because I feel like nothing I'm saying is making sense. The next, oh shoot, great. I spilled my coffee a little bit. This is the part of the vlog where we kind of veered from strictly dinosaur books and kind of like playing around with different, like, I guess, elements of Jurassic Park as well. The next book was recommended for this vlog, and it's Wilder Lore, it's The Accidental Apprentice. The Accidental Apprentice, which is the first Wilder Lore book by Amanda Foody. This is a middle grade book. This is actually the third Amanda Foody book that I own, but the first one that I've read. I have Ace of Shades, the first one. I also have All of Us Villains. I got that for Christmas. I hope to read that soon. This is the first one that I've actually read. This was the one that I had to like think about the most and to like correlate it, for it to correlate with what I was looking for the Jurassic Park video. This one, I'll say there's like adventure. There are some beasts that we're running from in a forest. This one follows Barclay, who is, he lives in this town that has like such very strict rules, the most of which is like no magic. Yeah, he is an apprentice to a mushroom farmer, and one day while out like scavenging for a mushroom, looking for a mushroom that the farmer needs, he breaks like the biggest rule and accidentally stumbles into the woods, the forbidden part of the woods where the magical beasts are. He accidentally bonds with a beast, is shunned from his town, and is thus set on this like journey, this mission to find the lore keepers, and who are like magic wielders who are able to bond with these magical beasts. He is determined to find someone who can help him break the bond. He ends up in this apprentice exam competition with hopes that once he wins, he'll be able to break the bond, yada yada yada. Hijinks ensue, friendships are made. This was really, really cute. It was really fun. It felt a lot like Bridge to Terabithia and like Pokemon. Also with like some Spiderwick Chronicles and what is that movie called? Love and Monsters with Dylan O'Brien. My love. That's just what it felt like in a book form. Well, Spiderwick and Bridge to Terabithia are books, but you know what I mean. It was cute. It was fun. I have not much to say. I feel like I probably will continue this series the way it ended. I need to know what happens next. Like I said, I've said many times, want to continue, I guess now, reading more middle grade. I've been doing an okay job of that this year. I'll have another one at the end of this video. But yeah, I think it's a cute story about like finding where you belong, power of friendship. I love a bit of found family. You know I do. You know I do. And magic. Alright, so next, I read this very small book, and it's The Lamb Will Slaughter the Lion by Margaret Killjoy. It's very tiny, very quick. I guess it's like a novella. I don't know. This follows Danielle, who shows up at this squatter town in Freedom, Iowa, kind of trying to follow the tracks of a friend of hers who has died by suicide, and I believe she's trying to like piece together what happened, what led to that. Long story short, upon arrival in this town, she discovers that there is a, I guess, spirit creature that takes the form of this 3-antlered deer, who I guess initially was conjured to protect. Conjured, is that the right word? Summoned to protect the town. Now is turning against the citizens, the people who live there in Freedom, on its summoners, and it's basically a very short fight for survival, basically. I wish this was longer. I wish it had a little more depth, especially when it comes to the characters. It definitely was kind of like, it definitely had like those sinister vibes, but I feel like it could have been even creepier if we just had a bit more and we could just go in a little deeper. Yeah, that's like my main thought. It was fine. I just needed a little, not even like a full-length novel, just a little bit more to chew on, you know? I never really could care about any of the characters. I didn't really like the main character. C'est la vie. The last book I read for that particular vlog, another one of my favorites of the month and of that vlog, The Kingdom by Jess Rothenberg. I've had this book for so long, and I'm glad I finally had an excuse to read it. And this one is a sci-fi. That's how that really ties in with the Jurassic Park. Well, not just that, but this follows Anna, who is a fantasist. She is basically a human hybrid who she and her sisters are kept in this theme park where they are programmed, I guess, to basically be like a real life fairy tale, bring the guests dreams and fantasies to life, yada yada yada. It's literally like futuristic sci-fi, sort of dystopian Disney World. This follows Anna, like I said, after she meets Owen, who is a human that works at what is this place called? I don't remember. Who works at the theme park. This is not a spoiler, it's on the flap. This starts after he has gone missing and is presumed dead, and it sort of follows two timelines. It follows like before he goes missing and then afterwards during the trial. She meets Owen and starts learning about like a reality of what's going on in this park, the reality of her creation, and other hybrids are glitching. I'm quoting because they're just doing what their species does, you know. Like I said, she's stumbling across some dark realities of this place, and I guess discovering what it really means to be human. It has like heavy themes of like humanity, autonomy, and I really enjoyed this book. It was easy to read. It was a quick read. It was really interesting. I don't remember anything else I was about to say. Liked following Anna. I liked the way the story was told. I liked the back and forth. I was able to figure out some plot points, but that's not really anything to complain about. I just was able to follow the story, and I just enjoyed my time reading this. That's all I have to say. This video is a disaster. I'm so sorry. I should not have filmed this now, but I knew if I didn't, I wouldn't have. So, okay, and now we're at just like the last 3 books that I read in March because I had time. Oh, last 4. I'm sorry. I always do this when I have audiobooks. I always skip them. I finished listening to The Deep by River Solomon. I started listening to that like the middle of February. I don't have many thoughts aside from the fact that David Diggs needs to narrate more audiobooks. That was like the main reason that I went ahead and finally listened to it. I love David a lot. If you don't know that, now you know. And his voice is very soothing, so therefore I didn't speed up the audiobook at all. I listened to it like at normal speed. I would have finished it sooner probably if I hadn't, because it's a very short audiobook, but I just wanted to enjoy the audio experience of Mr. Diggs reading me a story. But yeah, The Deep is, I think, was inspired by Clipping, David's group, their song The Deep, which y'all should, if you don't listen to Clipping, you need to. So one, listening to the song, it's really interesting to see how it was interpreted into a story and like where the influence comes from. It follows, I forget the main character's name, but it basically follows like the descendants of slaves, pregnant enslaved women who were thrown overboard their offspring survived in the sea, and a whole new species was born out of that. And the main character is like a memory holder or something. She holds like the memory of like a history keeper, essentially. When the weight of that becomes too much, she leaves her community. And yeah, I don't have a lot to say. Like I said, I love David. Will I need to reread it again one day? Perhaps, because I always have a slight issue focusing fully on an audiobook. Okay, so the last three were very, very quick. The first one was Crazy, what is this called? Crazy Stupid Bromance by Alyssa K. Adams. This is the third in the Bromance book club series. This one follows Alexis and Noah. Alexis, we meet both of these characters in the previous book, which, the one with Mac, Undercover Bromance. Alexis was one of the women involved in that case with the restaurant man. Alexis owns a cat cafe. That's the most important fact of this whole book. A new customer starts showing up to said cafe, and Alexis believes it is another victim of this man. I can't remember his name. It's not important. She instead claims that they're sisters and that their father is dying. So Alexis then turns to her best friend Noah, who we also meet in Undercover Bromance, who is a former hacker and is now like a computer security expert. He runs his own computer security business and whatnot, works with a lot of big shots. Like I said, they're best friends, so she confides in him. He is in love with her. Is she also in love with him? I think they're both like in love with each other. I can't remember, and just won't act on it and trying to preserve the friendship, whatever. That's where the Bromance book club comes in to help him move forward and move to the next step of his relationship with her. Yeah, and this kind of like follows him being there for her with all this drama with her newfound family, him working through his own past family issues. This one is my favorite so far of this series. In the past, if you've been here for a while, you know I've had a lot of mixed emotions about this series, particularly the last one. I did not like the last one that much. I have the whole series because I just need to know. I just need to know how it fleshes out. I'm invested enough, you know. I've had my fair share of issues with the first two books with this series so far. But like for the most part, I really enjoyed this one. Is it because there's a cat? Maybe. But this was like the first time that I believed the couple, that I really felt like the chemistry between them and cared about them, I guess. And that's saying a lot because I'm an enemies to lovers girl all day, every day. But I think, you know what? I think that friends to lovers in a contemporary, like a romance, I think it's grown on me. I think I'm a little bit here for it. At least I was in this book. Also want to say that being that Mac was my favorite character, the only character in the last book that I cared about, I am very glad that he is still a very prominent feature in this book, because the first book followed Gavin and Thea, right? But by book 2, Gavin was just like a very minor character, and I thought that was weird considering that the main character, Liv, I believe, in book 2 is Thea's sister. So you would think he'd be around more. I guess because it's Mac's book club, he's going to be around. I will say that I don't love the sex in Alyssa K. Adams in this series. It's always lackluster for me. I will say the first spicy scene in this book, it was pretty good, but then like after that I'm like, okay, I get it, it's all the same, I got it, it's doing nothing here. Yeah, that I am glad that I picked this up. I love the cover of this one, love the story. I enjoyed like the side story going on with, what's this girl's name, Alexis. And I'm just excited that there is one that I can say that I actually really liked. Now going forward, I'm nervous because the next one follows Vlad, who is my least favorite character in this series. I know he's like put in for like comedic relief, I guess, of some sort. I've just never vibed with his character. I think he is like a caricature, and just, I don't know. I feel like his character is sort of like cheap. So I guess it'll be interesting to see him like as a real life person. Next, I finally continued with my Series of Unfortunate Events reread. I should have been done that. I read The Reptile Room, which is the second in the series. Now I will say that I had lost this for a very long time, and it was right in front of me for like, I don't want to talk about it, but I found it and I read it. I read it in like 2 days. Obviously, this one was always my favorite. The first three were always like the ones that are, I only got up to like book 5, but like the first 3 are the ones that have like a prominent place in my mind, the ones I remember most vividly. And I think because I love reptiles, so I think this one was like one I really loved. I just also loved their relationship with Uncle Monty, and just I've loved being back in this series. This was like my favorite series when I was a kid, and it's interesting now because I haven't read the books in so long. I've watched the movie a lot, so like comparing it and like seeing all that they left out of that movie, while I do love the movie, I wish they hadn't squished the first 3 books together and really fleshed out each story, because like they're quick stories, there's not too much in it, but like there's a lot that's like character wise or relationship wise that's cut out. In the books you really see like the loss and the trauma these kids go through, as well as like Count Olaf is such a twisted character, and like Jim Carrey plays him well, but like there's still like, sort of like that Jim Carrey theatrical character. But yes, I'm excited to continue. I have book 30, I know where it is, so I can like continue with this. The last book I read was a poetry collection, and it was Rivka by Muhammad El-Kurd. This was inspired by his grandmother, and basically here it says El-Kurd lays bare the brutality of Israeli settler colonialism. His poems trace Rivka's exile from Haifa to his journey's current dispossession in Shikira, Jerusalem, exposing the cyclical and relentless horror of the Nakba. And I kind of wish that I had taken my time more with this, mainly because I haven't read poetry or like a poetry collection in so long. And I think I need to relearn how to read poetry in some cases. There were some I'm just like, I had to reread a lot of the poems multiple times to like understand what I was reading. But I think this is beautiful. It's painful a lot to read. It's just I don't know, I just can't imagine. I definitely recommend everyone pick this up. I'm annoyed. Okay, I'm gonna go. So those are the 10 books that I read in March. I'm sorry that this was an incoherent mess. To be fair, I only had a few hours of sleep. But thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like me, feel free to subscribe. Let me know what your favorite read of March was, and if you have a favorite so far of April. All my places are down below so you can follow me, and I'll follow you back, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.